in the media conference with Lal Goyal, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And our today's topic is not only current, but very, very relevant. And the topic is COVID returns, impact on addiction. But before I will go on our main topic, I would like to inform that today country is celebrating Ambedkar Jayanti. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is born on 14th April 1891, and it's an annual festive observed on 14th April to commemorate the memory of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Baba Saheb Ambedkar was an Indian jurist, economist, politician, and a social reformer who inspired the Dalit Buddhist movement and campaigned against social discrimination towards the untouchables, Dalits. He was British India's Minister of Labour in Viceroy's Executive Council, a member of the Constituent Drafting Committee, independent India's first Minister of Law and Justice, and considered the chief architect of the Constitution of India. Since 2015, it has been observed as an official public holiday throughout India. Ambedkar Jayanti is celebrated not just in India, but all around the world. Ambedkar struggled for equality throughout his life, hence his birthday is celebrated as Equality Day or Samta Divas in India, and the demand to declare this day as International Equality Day goes to the United Nations. Media conference with Lal Goyal wishes you all on this occasion. Now coming to our main topic, that is COVID returns impact on addiction. Addiction is a biopsychosocial disorder characterized by repeated use of drugs or repetitive engagement in a behavior such as gambling despite harm to self and others. According to the brain disease model of addiction, while a number of psychosocial factors contribute to the development and maintenance of addiction, a biological process that is induced by repeated exposure to an addictive stimulus is the core pathology that drives the development and maintenance of an addiction. Many scholars who study addiction argue that the brain disease model is incomplete and misleading. The population of India has been rising day by day. Currently, India's population is almost 1.4 billion, out of which over 5 million are substance abusers. The number of deaths recorded last year due to overconsumption of alcohol is approximately 3 million. There are around 60 different types of diseases with alcohol has a significant causal role. As per the statistics, the total consumption of alcohol was 6.13 liters per person. Cannabis, heroin, opium, and hashish are recorded to be the most commonly used drugs in India. There has also been evidence of an increasing prevalence of methamphetamine. Well, the rates of injecting drug users in India have also increased substantially. The rising rate of HIV that has spread through the communities and regions due to the injecting drugs, which in turn happens due to the exchange of needles. Methamphetamine addiction. Methamphetamine, commonly known as meth, is a string central nervous system stimulant that is used as a recreation drug among most people. Meth seizures across Asia have tripled in the last 5 years. This drug is often used to help anyone stay awake through long shifts or gives the person the energy boost he needs. Meth has become increasingly popular in the party culture, with most users being in their early teens or 20s. According to the experts, meth's ingredients are both produced illegally in India as well as procured from legal sources in chemical industry. This has made its availability very easy for most addicts. Meth usage has been linked to several severe physical problems in addicts. Apart from causing serious physical and mental damage, they also cause organ damage, insomnia, violence, etc. This drug is commonly used by the working class as a stimulant to help them perform better work for longer hours and consume less food. Usage of drug is extremely dangerous and can lead to damage in motor skills, response times, sexual dysfunctions, and problem-solving skills. Cannabis addiction. Cannabis addiction is the most common in India since it is widely available all through the country. The rate of people being subject to substance abuse psychosis by abusing cannabis has shockingly increased. Cannabis, also known as marijuana, ganja, charas, weed, has been known to be consumed by the ancient gods of the country according to the Hindu mythology. The drug is mostly smoked or drunk as a beverage in Hindu ceremonies, often known as bhang. Cannabis is consumed by a large section of society, especially by labor workers who find the relaxing properties beneficial. Despite its widespread use and acceptance, this drug is still illegal to use and possess in any form. According to reports, cannabis users have recorded to be around 10 million in country, out of which 50% of them die due to dependence or are subject to substance abuse psychosis. These users also suffer from major health problems, including respiratory disorders, memory impairment, digestive tract problems, respiratory disorders, weight loss, and problems with sleep. Illegal drug consumption causes about 250,000 deaths yearly. Alcoholism, the latest figure from the Office for National Statistics indicates that Kerala has been leading in terms of alcohol consumption. 11% of the population indulges in binge drinking. The global figures record shows the figure as over 16%. In the years of life lost scale, which is based on the deaths due to alcoholism, India has been rated as 4 on a scale of 1 to 5. There is concern the coronavirus disease, COVID-19 pandemic, is having a negative impact on the mental health of the general population through a range of suggested mechanisms: fear, uncertainty, and anxiety, social distancing, isolation, loneliness, and economic repercussions. The COVID-19 pandemic is already impacting drug markets, including shortages of numerous types of drugs at the street level, price increases for consumers on the black market, and reduction in purity. Synthetic drugs availability, such as methamphetamine, is drastically reduced due to air travel restrictions and flight cancellations, while cocaine, mostly trafficked by sea, continues to be detected in European parts. During the pandemic, heroin and opioids seems to be pushed towards being trafficked along maritime routes. Finally, cannabis appears to be less available due to restrictions of movement across regions and borders under coronavirus lockdown. These disruptions are likely to grow and further increase risk for people who use drugs, for example, by increasing variability in drug purity, the likelihood of adulteration and contamination of heroin supply with synthetic opioids such as fentanyl. These issues can also encourage shifts to more at-risk drug using behaviors, such as use of drugs such as street benzodiazepines and synthetic cannabinoids. Now, when we are talking about the COVID returns, because as you all know that the COVID is coming back, rather it has already come back with a bang, far more cases than what we have seen in 2020. Now, COVID returns on 13th April 2021, that is till yesterday, India registered 185,248 new cases of coronavirus, which has taken the country's cumulative tally past 1 crore 38 lakhs cases. 1,026 lost their lives yesterday. Thus, total deaths due to corona raised to 1,72,115. These are the official figures which I am quoting. I cannot guarantee that this figure is correct, because the other day when I was doing the media conference, one doctor told us that in India we are having the protocol of 2 weeks, that if any person found COVID positive and if he died in 2 weeks' time, then he will be termed as a death due to COVID. But if he is dying in 3rd or 4th week, he is not declared as a COVID death. While in other countries like UK, etc., they have a protocol of 4 weeks. So if anybody suffered from COVID and if they die up to 4 weeks, that death is termed as a COVID death. So we are giving you the figures which the official figures have been released by the government of India. According to health officials, India has administered 10 crore 85 lakhs 33,085 vaccine doses across the country as of 13th April 2021. That is till yesterday. Now, to discuss today's very, very important topic, that is COVID returns impact on addiction, we have a very knowledgeable, learned, experienced panel with us. And I would like to invite my first guest, and she is Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. Dr. Rukhsana Hassan is a renowned psychologist, trainer, coach, motivational speaker, a special educator for early childhood education and development, a specialized counselor for the drug abusers and alcoholic with an experience of 28 years in rehabilitation center. She holds a PhD in social work and humanity from USA, postgraduate in Master of Arts from Mysore University, postgraduate in diabetic health educator from St. John's, Bangalore, and postgraduate in human rights, New Delhi. Her second PhD from Mother Teresa University in counseling psychology. Presently, she is doing her third PhD in applied science from Rajasthan University. She completed her research in a project about CSW in Bangalore city under Women and Child Development, Government of Karnataka. She has done research about addictive personality, child's development, psychology, CDP. It was done with the children of Observation Homes Boys, Government of Karnataka. For the outstanding service towards humanity, she was awarded Indira Priyadarshini Award. She is the nominee of Kittur Rani Chennamma, Government of Karnataka, as the best social worker. She was awarded by Art Mantram, Bangalore, for Go Green Bangalore. She won Women's Achievers Award of N.A. Harris Foundation, Bangalore. She has presented her papers at many international conferences at Turkey, Istanbul University, and Egypt, trained teachers in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune, and all over Karnataka. She was the counselor in charge of Karnataka State Counseling Center as an advisor for the Karnataka State Minority Commission 2011 to 2012, and has designed pilot project for the Government of India and Government of Karnataka. She is the founder chairperson of the first rehabilitation center. She is the first minority woman in India to have started such a unique, challenging program. She designed mobile computer and training units with the help of Ministry of Labor, which benefits for the minority girls who are denied education for various reasons. Her title is Smiley Girl of the Town. She builds a new dawn in the darkest dusk just with positive smile. Welcome, Dr. Rukhsana, on our show. As usual, whenever you come to our show, always smiling, and that's why you are called as a smiley girl of the town. And now I think you are becoming a smiley girl of the nation, or the global smiley girl. Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, today's topic is very important, and I know it's very close to you because your whole life has been dedicated for this de-addictions centers and de-addicted the people from all types of addictions. Definitely, we would like to know your views on COVID returns impact on addiction. JC, Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, please.
Thank you, Goel. And as you said, today is Ambedkar Jayanti. I wish the nation on this day. And in many places, today is the first day of Ramadan. So I also wish all our viewers Ramadan Kareem. And yesterday and today, Ugadi has been celebrated. So today is a day of lot of celebration. But we are talking about a very saddening situation of the youth in our country. As you rightly said, that the statistics, whatever is there, is not very accurate or to the point. The thing is, none of the education centers or any of the institutions or the government itself has taken any such kind of authentic survey about how many alcoholics are there or how many drug addicts are there. And before I start this, I would like to give my gratitude to my guide, to my inspiration, to my motivation, Syed Saif. If at all I am in this field, it is only because of him for the last 28 years. So my gratitude to Syed Saif. Because of him, I was in this and I continued my journey for the last 28 years. In this 28 years, what I have seen among the kids. So now the question is, who are the alcoholics or who are the drug addicts? You were talking about the deaths of alcoholics. But those alcoholic deaths numbers, whatever they have given, who has given this numbers? Which agency has given this number? So that's a very important thing. See, just to put it in the media, to make one statement, it's easy. But if you go beyond that statement, if it is 10 families, I think out of the 10 families, there will be about 50 members. Okay, just approximately 5 members, even if you calculate like that. So if one alcoholic or one drug addict has a problem, how many others are having a problem? Any other disease in the world, whether it is cancer, whether it is HIV, whether it is heart disease, whether it is any other disease, only the patient will be suffering and the family will stand there as a support, as in social support. But if it is a drug addict or an alcoholic, any addict for that reason, even it may be gambling, I think Saif will be a better person to tell about the dry addicts and the wet addicts. So who is a dry addict and who is a wet addict? So comparing to that, if there is one addict at home, the first thing they will say is, I'm not responsible for it. My son is a very good boy, but the boys with whom he is, due to him, he became an addict. So in India, what I have seen with dealing with so many cases, it is only the blame game. I think even Anil has an experience with his psychiatrist thing, how many addicts come, and then, the first things we were not aware about, our child was addicted to such substance. Now, keeping this addicts and this substance abusers aside, the first and the foremost question to all the people, to the individuals, to the society, to the family, to the government, to the central government, on to the state government, and to the doctors, everybody, the demand is there. Who is supplying to them? Who are the suppliers? So that's a main question what we have to ask. As you have already told, what are the effects of these? What are the effects of these medicines? Whenever they take this in the form of medicines, then it becomes chemical, then it becomes substance, then it becomes addictive personality. So because all this thing is happening, we all know the deadly things what are happening, but who's responsible for it? Who is supplying them? In India, none of these drugs are legal. None of these drugs are happening that, you can just get it easily. It is not happening. But who is giving it? So that's a very saddening question to be asked, And then recently in October, the Crime Investigation Department, CID department in Bangalore, had in huge raids. The CCB, then the CID department and the local police, I think some few thousand kgs of ganjas they got. Good. They got the ganjas, they punish, some are sent to jail and some are out on the bail. So what is the system, what has been followed for all these things? Through the government, through the local people. Like supposing if there is one area, I will just take one area as Tandri Road in Bangalore. If in Tandri Road, there is police limits and such a huge transaction is taking place, why is the police not taking any action? And if there are arrests, why is the judiciary giving them a bail? The whole thing is so confusing. We know how many are dying. We know how many students are suffering. We know all this thing. In spite of this, why is it that there is no proper system taken place? And why is it that, every school dropout, every school dropout with my statistics, this I have done personally, with that statistic, every school dropout, you can see that over a period of 4 years, he becomes a progressive addict. No addict is born on that day and no addict will die on the same day. No addict is born in that month and will die after 1 month. No, this is a progressive disease. Once if this progressive disease takes place, the family will come to know only when he is into the last stage of his or her life. Here I would like to stress upon his or her life. It is not the question of boys, it is just youth. If it is just youth, then who are the youths? It is only the boys? No, even the girls. Yeah, take a city like Mangalore. How many of them are there? Out of 100 students, how many are potential addicts? How many are progressive addicts? How many are just addicts? How many just use and just leave it? This is a huge thing what they have to take it very serious. If not, this is just like a wildfire. The government is not able to do any help at this stage. At this stage. And if it is more than 20 to 30% of the population gets into it, I don't think so anybody will be able to help the real youths. So this is the first thing. Second thing, in this pandemic, like after April, we got cases, from the flat association, मैडम ऐसे हो रहा है कि वो लोग सब फ्लैट के नीचे पार्किंग में जम रहे हैं, बिकॉज फ्लैट के पार्किंग में तो कोविड नहीं था. फ्लैट के पार्किंग में तो it was not, the police were restricted, they had to come. In Mangalore, each one of the complexes, they have about 100 to 300 flats. So out of that 100 to 300, even if 10 flats, that is how when other boys came down, oh, what is this? Okay, this is it. Sitting at home, it is boring. This is the first thing. And then when it was online classes, when the children not able to concentrate, when we saw their eyes, when we saw their behavior on the screen as teachers, that is the time they said, ma'am, this boy looks different. He's not concentrating. When we ask, he's giving a different answer. When we speak to the parent, they say, no, he's all the time at home. So this is like a hide and seek game where an addict doesn't show himself, that yes, I'm an addict. Yes, two different things is, if you are an alcoholic, anybody will fight because of the smell, because of the behavior, and because of the immediate effect. If it is a drug addict, the first and the last point is denial. No, I haven't used. No, I haven't used. Because once it is consumed, there is no smell, there is no odor, and there is no way for you to find out at home. So these are the few challenges what we have seen in the last COVID situation. And now I tell the families, if your son or daughter is having this problem, spending this much of time in this place, please see, we have given the parents precaution, but how many parents have got this? So these are the few questions left as question marks, and there are no proper answers found. But in this return, the COVID returns from last February, March, and this month, April, we have been taken a lot of precautions, and we have given a lot of programs for the teachers as well as the parents to monitor the child, even if he is at home. Even if it is at home, to get the drugs, it is just few minutes for him to get, and to hide it, it's another few minutes, but to consume it, that takes a long time. So with all these things, I think Saif will be able to put more light on it, because he is running a rehab with all such cases. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rukhsana Hasan. And Dr. Rukhsana Hasan asked the questions that what statistics which are there available in media, who is giving those statistics, from where these statistics are coming, because according to her, these all statistics are of no use, because nobody has done a proper scientific survey of all these, those who are either drug addict or who are addict of the alcohol, etc. So she says that these, and plus she has mentioned a very important point, that in other disease, if a person is suffering, he has to suffer alone, and others, family members, are supporting him or her. But in the, as a addict person, the others are also suffering because that person become a liability to the family. And she says that who is supplying the drugs? Who is supplying the alcohol? After all, these are coming from somewhere, especially the drugs. So when the drugs are freely available, if somebody is supplying, what is happening, and why is very less punishment or no punishment for consuming cannabis like ganja, charas, hashish, bhang, etc. So I will come to you, Dr. Rukhsana, with a question to you in the next round. But now, as you have mentioned that you would like to listen, we should listen from Mr. Syed Saifullah Shah. So I would like to invite my next guest. He is Mr. Syed Saifullah Shah. Uh, Mr. Syed Saifullah Shah is the managing director of Safe and Sane Foundation. He is a motivational speaker, therapist, special counselor for addictive personality, a NGO working the upliftment suffering drug addicts, alcoholics, and their families. He has vast experience of 30 years in the field of rehabilitation and recovery of addicts. Welcome, Mr. Syed Saifullah Shah, on our show. Mr. Shah, you have heard what Dr. Rukhsana Hassan has mentioned, and she clearly blames government. She clearly blames the civil society. She even clearly blames the parents that they are hiding the facts if the child is a addict. Now you are running for last 30 years the rehabilitation and recovery addicts center. So you are dealing with them directly. And you have that, which Dr. Rukhsana also mentioned, that you are the inspiration for her to come in this field. So we would like to know from you, because now you know that earlier when the COVID came, at that time, things have changed. Drugs were not available, alcohol shops were closed. So there was lots of problem. But the media reports also says that everything was available. A bottle of 1,000 rupees was available for 3,000 rupees for alcohol. All the drugs were available, and they have the black marketeers or the drug suppliers have raised the prices, and they were giving the adulterated one. So it is not harming as a financially, but it is also harming the more health. So we would like to know, now the COVID is coming back. So whether we have learned any lesson in last 1 year or not. During that COVID, you have seen the youths or those who are coming. So we would like to know your views on COVID returns impact on addiction. Mr. Syed Saifullah Shah, please.
Thank you for inviting me to this forum. I'm so thankful to you, and I'm so thankful to her, my sister. And to say about the comeback of COVID and the non-availability of drugs, there's no time in society or anywhere in the world. There's no such word called as non-availability. See, Saudi is supposed to be zero tolerance on drugs or alcohol, but still it is available. Still the crimes happen everywhere. And take as India. India is Gujarat is a dry state. It is always COVID there. From the time of 1947, Gujarat is a dry state. You don't get alcohol or you don't get anything there. But most of the deaths from alcohol, you can count it from Gujarat, because it's not legalized, and it is not the people bootlegging and doing things. So it is adulterated alcohol, and nobody is accountable. If it is government, it is accountable. If it is not government, it is not accountable. So there is no such things of scarcity of alcohol or drugs in time of lockdown or time of COVID, or nothing fears. For them, let it be COVID or let it be any kind of pandemic, they don't fear, because that is the reason they don't fear for their life. That is the reason they are drinking. That is the reason they are using. That is the core part we have to learn. And she was talking about this survey. Surveys used to be done. Surveys used to be done by WHO, UN. There are so many things. They used to do the surveys. Now they have come to a conclusion part. From so many this much alcohol, wine shops get this much customers. Out of them, this much are the alcoholics, this much are the social drinkers, because it's very hard, like, to differentiate between social drinker and things. So this is the thing, like, there is no need of survey. You can see around and you can see the things, like government is doing to their part, because government makes a rule. It is we have to take and we have to do it as it is citizen what we are doing. So I don't know. I don't want to blame anyone. Like, we have to do things by ourselves and things like that. Like, that is the thing. And apart from that, like, there is no, I think so. This post-COVID, or post-lockdown, people say that the non-availability had made them stop. But as my survey, many youngsters have come into drugs because of the boredom, because of to do nothing. They have all the free time. They don't have a proper, what do you say, that school structure or timing. Because before this COVID, there was timing and the life was manageable. Now life has become unmanageable to everyone. It is, and most of them, it is for youngsters. Youngsters' lives was like, timetable was there. They used to go to school. They used to do their homework. They used to do. Now it is nothing like that. Like, they don't have anything. They have all that they have is free time, and more and more youngsters are getting into drugs. This is what is my thing, and it is not that, like, that it is lockdown and you can't go out and you can't get things. I don't think so, because I have seen that, like, that I'm on a current survey. I'm talking about, like, the current survey. It's most of them have become more and more addicts are now youngsters. Before it was not like that. Before it was different scenario. Now it has become like from the age of early age of 10, kid of 10 is, as she's been becoming addict to substance abuse, like, they're like sniffers, like, this is a progressive disease. It is not constant, like, they go on to hard drugs, they go on to soft drugs, like, day by day, and you can correlate addiction into everything. It is like, I think so, this medical thing have to take addiction into importance, and they have to survive, because each and every hospital have to survive. What is the cause of alcohol or any substance abuse on normal human being? People say that they are social drinker and things like that. Like, still it affects. Poison amount of low or high in dose, it affects. So this medical experts have to survive. Like, it is you connect to AIDS, you connect to heart attack, you connect to diabetics, you connect to blood pressure, everything. Like, most of them major health issue in the society. Alcohol, because of substance abuse. It is because of substance abuse. If there is no substance, people are not using substance, I think so world will be more healthier. That is my view.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Syed Saifullah Shah, for giving your views. And Mr. Shah has mentioned a very, very clear thing, and that was that he says that this who is says that there is a shortage of drugs during the lockdown. He even gave the example of Gujarat. He says Gujarat is a dry state. From 1947, the maximum deaths due to the alcohol is from Gujarat. So he is very clear. He says there is nothing like that there was a shortage. Yes, adulterated and all those things were there. Secondly, he has mentioned about a very important thing, and that he says that due to the COVID, the drug addictions have increased in many folds. And he has he says that his own experience says that even the kids of age of 10 years has started becoming addict of the substances. And he says because of many reasons, but few of the reasons are the isolation, separation, totally isolated at home, and boring. And so that they feel bored and they go into the use of substance. And that is why the uses of drugs have increased drastically during the COVID time. So Mr. Shah is very, very clear. He says that COVID has increased in many folds. And he says that if anybody says that drugs or alcohol is not there, he says even a country like Saudi Arabia, which is having zero tolerance, they also have these types of cases. So he says that it is everywhere. And it is a very, very serious issue. One has to think, and it's not to blame to each other, but it is a problem, a social problem, which all have to solve in a very nice way. Otherwise, the future, which although he has not mentioned, but we can see the future is very dark, because if the kids of 10 years started taking drugs while they are stationed at home due to the lockdown, it's a very, very serious thing and very sad thing for the society as a whole. Thank you very much, Mr. Syed Saif, for giving your views. Now I would like to invite Dr. Anil Kakunje for, I will introduce first him. Dr. Anil Kakunje is the professor and head of the Department of Psychiatry, Yenupaya Medical College, Yenupaya University, Mangalore. Dr. Anil has already done 60 publications, authored, one moment, please. Authored 3 books, 5 chapters in book, and research grants of 39 lakhs. He is the former president of Mangalore Psychiatry Society. He received Professor Raghuram Distinguished Young Teacher Award from Indian Psychiatry Society, Karnataka chapter in 2018. Welcome, Dr. Anil Kakunje, on our show. Dr. Anil, you have heard what Dr. Rukhsana Hassan as well as Mr. Shah has spoken. And both are of the views that the drugs were always there, and rather during the lockdown, they were people used more drugs. And what Mr. Shah has said, that even the child of 10 years now, they have gone for the drug addiction due to the reason of the lockdown, because they become so bored sitting at home. So they have started the drug habits. Dr. Rukhsana has mentioned that how the youths are assembling in the parking of a building during the lockdown, and they are using the drugs, and starting with 10 youth, then gradually the number is increasing. So both of them are of this view that the addiction due to the COVID time has increased. And now, because COVID returns, the COVID has again come back, the fear is that it is going to increase further. Now, we would like to know, because you being a psychiatrist and you are seeing the patients from every field, what is your personal experience pre-COVID time and the COVID time, then again unlock time, and now again the COVID returns. So COVID returns, impact on addiction. Dr. Anil Kakunje, please.
A very good morning to all of you, to all the participants and viewers. Firstly, New Year greetings. Many part of the country are celebrating New Year today. Ramzan greetings to many of my fellow citizens, and happy Ambedkar Jayanti for the nation. A good title, COVID Returns, like the Mummy Returns. So Mummy Returns was a huge hit. So COVID Returns is again battling us. And addiction has always been a problem. It is not that it is something new, it has been always a problem. And with the COVID, along with COVID, it has become a more of a problem, and at an increased rate. From a psychiatrist point of view, I would look at substance abuse, say addiction, in 2 terms. One, the chemical substances, which includes nicotine, alcohol, cannabis, cocaine, and so on, solvents, sniffing. That group includes mainly the chemical substances. And you have other kinds of addiction, the behavioral addictions, the addictions related to internet, mobile phone addictions, WhatsApp addiction, porn addiction, gaming addictions, and so on. So as a psychiatrist, both of these have become a problem following the lockdown. The chemicals as well as the behavioral addiction. As people are unable to go out, internet usage has increased, and problems related to internet and electronic gadgets, the behavioral problems also have increased. See, when you look at the addiction as a full problem, we categorize people into, say, 3 categories. One is people who use, people who abuse, and people who are dependent on the substance. People who come to clinical attention, say medical attention or say professional help, are generally people who fall in the dependence category. But there is a huge population who are in the use and abuse category, especially the younger generation, who can be a big problem or a potential problem in the near future. And during the lockdown, probably we are getting into that phase. Probably they have not gone into the dependence potential, people, the youngsters, but then generally it is a time when people have started using, or maybe people are using, have started misusing or abusing, and this can be a serious problem in times to come. Looking at the say positive factor for any of the substance abuse, we have a biopsychosocial model for majority of psychiatric illness, including the addiction ones. So you have the chemical theories of why people go into addiction, and you have many biological factors, family factors, and along with that you have an environmental factors and a lot of psychosocial problems. So something which is biological is innate, which has been there pre-COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID. But then what has changed is the psychosocial aspects, the environmental aspects, the situational aspects, stress factors, loneliness. So these have changed, say, from post-COVID to during COVID times, and probably during the returning times. And many of these have a close association with COVID, and there is a constant interplay. Say, for example, addiction, if you take a rough statistics, roughly around 5% of the population of the country will get affected during some point of time. And COVID is another 5%. If you roughly take the whole population, if you take so much people are getting affected or are related to COVID infection, so you have a 5% here, 5% there, and there is a constant interplay between the two. I'll explain how it is. Say, for example, someone who is taking alcohol regularly, for example, substance alcohol, he fails to take all COVID precautions. The way he conducts himself, the way how he conducts in the, say, a restaurant, in a bar, at home, after drinking with his friends, and his judgment is poor. He doesn't understand what is right, what is wrong after drinking, and that affects COVID infection because it can lead to easy spread. On the other hand, someone who is suffered from COVID feels more isolated, is more stigmatized, is locked down at home, and the tendency to get some sort of pleasure from anywhere. And many of these people get hooked on to any of these substances. It could be behavioral addictions, it could be substance addictions, and there is a constant interplay between COVID and substance. Both can increase each other either way, and that can lead to serious issues in times to come. And coming to, say, lockdown and the effect on addictions and many of the behavioral problems, as I agree with Mr. Saif that it is not totally stopped. There have been times earlier also when there have been restrictions during elections and all, people have restrictions, but then people find out some way to get it. And many times what has happened is people started using spurious liquors, adulterated ones. People started stocking. Now that people know that restriction and lockdown may appear, people have learned some lessons and people tend to stock. And probably other activities and other pleasurable activities have decreased. So the chance of people going into addiction is high. Loneliness is one more reason when people find some reason to say give some pleasure to themselves. Stress is a major factor. People started losing jobs, less income, more free time, less of going out. So all these things are major stress factors and psychosocial issues which can increase addictions. So substance abuse is something which is evolving around feelings, emotions, behavior, and so on. And all these things which I mentioned can lead to major problems both with the substance addictions and other behavioral addictions. So I think we should be more watchful about all these things in times to come. And the whole society and as professionals, we all need to get together to see that our society is say moves in the right direction and more safer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anil, for giving your views. And what Dr. Anil says that yes, the drug abuse or the drug addiction was always there, but he says due to the lockdown or due to the COVID, the other addiction was a behavioral addiction. And he says the people who are where they were when they were isolated, they wanted some pleasure or something, and that's why the addiction has started, whether it's in the form of gambling or whatsoever form. But he emphasized like alcoholism. He says that alcohol is, as well as the or other drugs, as well as the COVID, both are interchangeable or interplayable, because he says the 5% population who are addict with either the drugs or alcohol, as well as 5% who are suffering from COVID. And he has given an example. He says once you are drinking alcohol, you forget the social distancing, and then the spread of COVID is very likely. Similarly, when you are suffering from COVID and isolated at your home, so you would like some pleasure. Now, at that time, people wants to go for the alcohol or any other substance. So that is why in both the cases, whether a person is consuming drugs or alcohol, he likely to have more COVID. Similarly, vice versa about the COVID, have more drug this thing. And he says that it is going on and it's increased like anything, but we have to check and we have to see how it can be done. Thank you very much, Dr. Anil Kakunje, for giving your views. Now, we have heard all the three views of those who belongs to the from the other side, not from the government side. Now I am introducing and inviting the guest who is at one time he was the head of this drugs bureau. So he will be able to tell about from the government side, what the government is doing, how the things have been done, and whatnot. So I am going to invite and introduce my next panelist, a guest. He is Mr. Hariom Gandhi. Mr. Hariom Gandhi is the Senior Commandant, CISF. He was the Zonal Director of Narcotics Drugs Bureau in Gujarat. He was Commandant, CISF in Unit HE Project URI from November 2008 to 2010, and has also worked across the country in the security forces in various capacities. He holds a master's degree in arts, law, and business administration. Mr. Gandhi has conducted extensive academic research on substance abuse and its effect on the work culture. He has participated in various national and international conferences on drug abuse, including new psychoactive substance identification and interdiction, organized by United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime in South Asia. As part of NCB Healthy Campus and Anti-Narcotics campaign, he has led several motivational sessions with students, teenagers, and young professionals on importance of living a healthy life and abstinence from harmful substances. Welcome, Mr. Hariom Gandhi on our show. Mr. Hariom Gandhi, before you joined, our panelists have mentioned, like Dr. Rukhsana Hassan says, that the drug abuse has increased during the COVID time. And she has given an example how in the multi-storied buildings, they are using the parking space down below where the youth are standing consuming drugs. Mr. Saif says that during the COVID time, the lockdown time, because he's running a rehabilitation center himself, and he says he found that even the young kids of 10 years age has started using one or some other substance. So that it has increased. And the reason what they are giving, they are very clear, because of the isolation at home, online education, they are not meeting with their friends. So they want to have something, and that's why this thing. And what Dr. Anil Kakunje has mentioned, being a psychiatrist, head of the department, he says that there is a behavioral change, and he correlated the COVID as well as the alcoholism, especially for alcoholism, how once a person who is consuming alcohol, and that I have also seen many times, people forget the social distancing. Once they consume 1 or 2 packs, they would like to eat with the same plates. They will be talking to each other in very close proximity. So it is totally impossible, and to say that no, we are keeping social distancing. If the alcohol is there, no social distancing can take place. I cannot vouch for other drugs, whether the other drugs also remove the social distancing or they become closer. That I can't say because I have no experience. But alcohol, I can vouch very clearly that people forget that they are under the lockdown and they have to maintain the social distancing. So, and Dr. Anil has also mentioned about the behavioral addiction, like gambling and all those things. Now we would like to know from you, because you were at the helm of the on this department, and you have dealt with the so much in the drug addicts as well as those who are supplying the drugs in India. Because Dr. Rukhsana has asked this question before you joined: from where the drugs are coming? After all, the drugs are also available in India. Someone is supplying. Who are supplying? So these all the questions are there. I'm sure we would like to know from the horse's mouth. Sorry to use the phrase, but yes, you are the authority. You know from ins and outs. So the COVID returns, impact on addiction. Mr. Hariom Gandhi, please.
Good morning to all of you. And the introduction and the brief background of the conversation which has been given to me, I totally agree with you, because I think this is an unprecedented situation after 1921. It is 2021. The pandemic of last century and the pandemic of before that was totally different because from this pandemic. Because of the one reason, we are talking about the addiction, and addiction is not only the addiction of tobacco, alcohol, marijuana, opium, cocaine, LSD. There are hundreds of the substances. If you go to the NDPS Act 1985, you find the list which contains around 175 almost substances which are banned. That means if somebody is dealing with those substances, they are liable to be prosecuted for 10 years to 20 years in prison and 1 lakh to 2 lakh rupees fine. Even Government of India has put a penal provision for the person who is consuming, like Section 27 of NDPS Act talks about the consumption part. If somebody is consuming, that means he is liable to be punished for 1 year in the jail and 20,000 rupees fine. Having said, there is still one more provision. If somebody tell I'm addict and I don't want to serve in the prison, I need the treatment, then Section 64A provides that opportunity to that person that he can go for the rehab and he can get the treatment and he can come out clean and lead a normal life. But as we know, friends, man is a social animal. We all need the physical health is one part, mental health is another part, but the most damaging part which has happened in last more than a year is a social health. We normally go outside, we mingle with the people, children goes to their school, they meet their friends, youngster goes, we also go to our offices. Now all things are gone. Children are attending the classes from house, from the mobile phone. Most of the young professionals are even IT professionals, they are starting work from home. And this work from home seems very easy, but this has done a lot of damage, because what you are doing at home, like if I'm consuming alcohol, if I'm consuming marijuana or opium or the cough syrup or whatever kind of the things, how one enforcement agency will come to know what is happening inside the four wall of a house? And the another part, every year, if you see the data from the government or even from the international community, every year, more and more seizures are taking places, more and more people are being arrested, but still the demand is not reduced. That means we have to think now again what we should do. If we keep on catching the criminal, the number will keep on increasing, but they will be coming into the market because there is a demand. Like we have seen in the last 1 year, the demand for substances were very high, but still the supply was not there because of the lockdown and all those things. But that does not mean people stopped using the drug. They started using the cheap substitute of the drugs. Rather, those substitutes were more harmful. So we have to work about the root cause of the drug abuse. What exactly is happening with the people? Why they are consuming more and more drug? If government is catching marijuana or opium or the coca, they are going to different substances. Like if you see government of India or if you see the NPS word, I think most of the people would have heard the word of NPS, new psychoactive substances. Those are almost 300 substances which are not in the control of any government, but which causes more harm than the real drugs. That means they mimic the impact of real drug, but they are not in the legislation. Though government of India and other governments of the world, they keep on finding those substances and bringing those substances in the national law. But still, this is an ongoing fight. Like now coming to the another aspect of it, what exactly is happening here? If we see, if I am at home, that means I am not meeting with my friends. If I am at home, I'm getting depressed, I'm getting bored. And instead of going for some healthy option, I'm going the shortcut. What can be the shortcut? Smoke, alcohol, maybe the ganja, maybe the cup syrup, maybe some alprazolam, maybe some diazepam, painkiller. There are hundreds of the substances. You keep on catching opium or the marijuana, but they will find the new and new and new substances. So only saying that government is not working, that will be incomplete. Of course, if you have seen last year, there were lots of celebrities were caught. Of course, that was a larger message to the entire community that consumption of marijuana is also punishable by 1 year punishment. So that would have certainly given a very larger message to the people, those who are abusing the substances. But I believe, and I tell the people, you find out some of the way. Like for example, if you want the high of heroin, why don't you do the 15-minute exercise, maybe the Zumba dance, maybe any dance, maybe you run. The moment you run for the 15 minutes, your basal heart rate is increased by 25%. That means your brain is releasing endorphin, and endorphin is nothing but it is heroin. So why don't you get the cheap substances rather going for the 5 crore rupees per kg substances? All we know, the drugs like the opium. Afghanistan is the biggest producer in the world, 10,000 ton of the opium. That means 90% of the illegal opium is produced in the Golden Crescent area. That is Iran, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. And rest 10% is in the Golden Triangle. Golden Triangle is Thailand, Laos, and the Myanmar. So these two areas are pushing the drug inside the country. Of course, in our country itself, we are having a illicit production of the opium, which are used for the medical companies like the morphine, thiabines, and the cup syrup. There might be some of the diversion might be taking place where you always find there are always actions are being taken. But at the same time, like for example, if you are in your bungalow and if you are growing marijuana or if you are growing opium poppy in the pot, how one agency will come to know that you are doing this kind of the things? So self-control is a must. I should know what exactly I'm doing. The moment I come to know, like for example, this is a COVID time and COVID has seen people, those who are the weak, like somebody is consuming tobacco, we know the lungs are getting damaged. So COVID would be affecting them more. They would be in the serious problem. Like somebody is alcoholism, like the previous panelists talked about the recreational drug and the abuse part and the dependence part. The dependence part of alcohol is so much we do not realize the problem. Alcoholism is a very, very serious problem. That means entire liver is gone. So God forbid, if something goes wrong with that person with the COVID, chances are very, very less. And the same thing is applicable with other drugs also. Here we have not much talked about the social media addiction because the topic is addiction. Social media addiction is a very, very serious thing where all the youngsters, they are in the different world what they are doing, with whom they are talking, with whom they are interacting. I think most of the parents are facing this serious problem. There are behavioral change, of course. Most of the panelists have talked about that. Behavioral changes are there, psychological changes are there, and some kind of the mental illness is taking place. So we have to think in that direction also, how to divert them towards the healthy activities. We have to make the compulsory some physical activity. It may be the yoga, it may be the running, time with the family at the lunch time or the dinner time. Everybody is sitting on the table, they are interacting with each other, because now the chances of going out and interacting with the outsiders are not there. So this is the best opportunity where people can interact with each other, and there can be the strong bonding with the family members, which was never ever possible. But though I have seen the opposite part of this, people are staying together, they are fighting more, there are separations are taking places, divorce are being filed. That's a very opposite phenomena, where people were thinking some positive will happen, but now negative is happening. So here we have to stop, and we have to realize this is a very limited opportunity, friends. COVID, I'm very hopeful it's not going to stay for a very long time. I do not know. I'm not a future teller, but of course, as everything has come and gone, COVID will also go. But staying together with the family member and with a close one, this time will never come. So we should use this. We should develop some good habits, reading, watching some good thing, instead of just being drinking or the abuse of the all those kind of the substance abuses. Of course you will not be getting punishment, because nobody outsider will catch you, because how they will come to know, how police will come to know that you are consuming, how NCB will come to know, even the supplier part also. Friends, I think this is a myth, because as far as the supply is concerned, the growing of these substances is very easy. People grow at their backyard, they grow in their field illegally. Many a time they are caught, many a time they are not caught. So my balanced view is very, very clear. Involve the people in some other work, like the social activities. For example, like in our healthy campus, we are involving our student community, planting the tree. Like last year we planted 15,300 tree. This year we are also trying to plant 10,000 plus tree. And planting the tree, then organic way of living, and creating something which is worthwhile for their life. They can find the value and meaning for the life. If we can create for the future generation and for this young generation, I think we will be utilizing this time for the good thing. Otherwise, we will be wasting this pandemic time. Of course, we have seen number of cases are growing in the largest number. People are suffering. Hospitals are full. Corona is increasing with the very fast pace in spite of the vaccination and everything. The only thing I can say, the moment we are addicted, we forget, like the previous panelists say, the social distance. Our mind is not a regional thinking. Then addiction create the false closeness. तू तो मेरा दोस्त है. Like तू तो मेरा दोस्त है means they forget about the social distancing. The mask would not be there, and they would be indulging in the risky behavior, which normally they would not be indulging if they are not under the influence of any drug. And another part, people think that by taking the addicted material will solve their problem. It is a basically cycle. They lose their self-esteem, self-confidence goes, become mentally sick. We have seen many suicide cases, not only in the country, all over the world, because of the substance abuse. There are hundreds of the cases every day. We see almost 1.2 lakh people are doing suicide. If we see the latest number, I'm sure the number would be on the higher side. That is a completed suicide. But if we see the attempted suicide, the number would be the 10 times higher. That means that would be around 12 lakh and 13 lakh. And the big cause behind this mental illness is addiction of certain things. So this is what my say about the department part. I am very clear. Government, the all agencies, whether it's the Narcotics Control Bureau local police, the customs, DRI, Coast Guard, RPF, CISF. Can you imagine? Government of India has given the power of booking the people under NDPS Act to many agencies. That means whosoever get, whether the state agency or the central government agency, catch them. There are the provision of the special codes, NDPS special code. This means there is no tariq pe tariq, tariq pe tariq. The decision comes very fast. Special codes are there, special provisions are there. Even there is a provision of death penalty. There is a compulsory provision of death penalty for the second time offender who was caught with the large number of the quantity, provision 31A, which provide the compulsory death penalty. So this is one of the toughest act, and this act is the only act which is applicable to every Indian wherever he or she is, wherever. This is applicable to the ship, Indian registered ship, wherever it is. I think no other law in the country provide this kind of the powers to the enforcement agencies. So as far as I am concerned, law is adequate, number of agencies are sufficient. It is at least up to us how we awake, how we realize the kind of the poison we are consuming. It is destroying us. Of course, all the panelists, Government of India, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, many of the NGOs, we also do the lots of awareness and we try to involve the student. That means हम बोलते हैं ना, शैतान को अगर आपने कंट्रोल किया तो that means आप उसको गलत काम करने से रोकोगे. So that means we have to control our youth. We have to divert their energy towards the positive side. And the moment they are involved in the positive side, there would be no scope of the substance abuse or any addiction. This is what my say.
And thank you very much, Mr. Gandhi, for giving your views. And Mr. Gandhi has given his side, means that from the government side, and he says the laws are adequate. So many laws are there, and such a stringent law is there, which is otherwise in no CPC or IPC is having any of other laws. They have so much power. But he says how one can check what you are doing in behind your closed door in your home. During the pandemic time, especially, it has increased. So one has the civil society or we ourselves have to think whether we are doing what we are doing is good or not. And he says, yes, definitely during the COVID time, the consumptions have increased. He even mentioned that the people who are drinking or what consuming drugs, they have started taking those things which are totally more harmful than otherwise if they are taking the drug which they used to take. But one interesting thing which Mr. Gandhi has said is that a person have a free heroin in his own body. If you run or do exercise, you will be getting the same substance released through your vein, which will be what is heroin. And he says that is one can have a free of cost instead of spending 5 crore rupees per kg. So these things can be educated, which he says that the government of India through many their own agencies as well as the NGOs, they are educating, they are doing the healthy campus programs in which they educate and they tell the students about that they should not be involved in these types of things. And he has also mentioned that if somebody is caught and if he is a addict, he can be released for a de-addiction center. Only thing is that he should be de-addicted properly. So all these things he has mentioned, and he says, yes, because of the COVID time, it has increased because people feel that I am confined to my home earlier. I will tell you all that I am doing the media conference every day, and so many psychiatrists have spoken to us, even the homemakers. Initially, it was a very good time, 2020, very quality time with the family, husband, wife, children's, grandparents. They were enjoying playing board games, playing Antakshari, talking to each other on the FaceTime or on the Zoom platform, etc. But after certain time, their problem started, and they feel that there is the homemaker feels there is no me time, which she used to have. The husband feel that 24/7 I have to see my wife only. no other one to see. So all these things have started, and children feel that every time we have to do some work, which initially they were enjoying, helping in the kitchen or sweeping the floor, etc. But afterwards, it has started giving a problem. So there are plus point, minus point. But the thing is how to see that the youth or even the elders will not become addict, because alcohol is such a thing. Yes, in the COVID time, it's very tempting because you are sitting alone, no one to move, no one to go. You need not to go to the market, sitting, what you will do in the evening? Why not I will have 1 peg or 2 peg? This is the, it has become addiction. So let's now, thank you very much, Mr. Gandhi, for giving your views, a very, very balanced views. I know that you will not say something which is, because you have seen from the other side. We are seeing from the other side, and you are from the other side. You have seen the inside, how the government is acting. But there are many things where the government cannot act, which the civil society or the NGOs have to educate. Thank you very much, Mr. Gandhi. Now my question goes to Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. Dr. Rukhsana Hassan, you were talking against alcoholism, and you are totally against alcohol. But I think you are wrong. The other day, I have done a program, COVID returns impact on IPL. IPL is going on, cricket is going on. I was saying, why this at this time when the people are dying, when the people are under curfew, lockdown is there, night curfews are there, why we are organizing this IPL? The reply was given by all the three panelists. IPL, it's very important. Two reasons: for the mental health, mental entertainment, and secondly, economy. Because not only our economy, the global economy is going to be very healthy because of the IPL. Now, my question to you is, IPL is nothing. The main thing is alcohol. If you remember in 2020, the long queues, when the first lockdown, when they opened the liquor shops, there were long queues. And so when the government also feel, and people also feel, the alcohol is very important, and they are helping, instead of giving the money to the PM Care Fund, it is better to purchase alcohol. And in that way, government is getting so much revenue. It is better so that the more ventilators will be purchased and whatnot. So I am sure that alcohol addicts are doing national service. Why you are against that, Dr. Hassan?
Yeah, very good question. Why government is against, or why I am against? Here, a very serious question what you have asked. What we have to understand is, if there are 100 people who are consuming alcohol, I don't say that all the 100 are addicts. Here, my problem with the addicts is the person who gets up early in the morning with the first peg and until he collapses till the last peg, he is having a problem. Of course, government will definitely not have a problem. There is again another kind of thing I would also tell Hariom Gandhi sir, that 1 gram of ganja or 1 gram of drug, what he said, 1 kilo is 5 crores. Where is this 5 crores going? To whom is it going? And the same thing, if after the lockdown, when the thing was open, only the alcohol, that was a legal thing. That's a legal drug, I can say. As he said, there are, according to 1985 NDPS Act, there are 100 plus drugs which are banned. How will we know that, that these drugs are banned? In that, does alcohol come? When the government knows the kind of, alcohol is the one thing which is for a longer time. We have seen the families, we have seen the murders, we have seen the crime rate, we have seen all these things. When this alcohol is causing so much of problem, why is it a legal drug? Why has it been licensed? Why is, just because in case if I murder and I give 5 crores or 500 crores to the government, will the government leave me and not punish me? It is the same. After alcohol, he is killing the entire family. But here I am just murdering somebody. So which crime is more? That's the reason why I'm against it and why I'm working with this and say that please stay away from drugs, please stay away from alcohol. These are the two things what it is. Now, as I said, there are, if 100 plus drugs are banned, how many other drugs are not banned? So this is a $1 million question what you have to ask. Like how many, only if you take one session, like the number of drugs, what are the usages, how do they look? Because in my first awareness camp, when I took ganja, the only thing everybody said, ye to, mehendi ke patte hain. And there are so many IAS officers who were serving as principal secretaries, under secretaries. Even they were not aware what exactly the drug looked like. My conversation with the additional chief secretary of Karnataka government, when I told him about the sniffing whitener, he was surprised. Arey, sniffing is there on my table. I can show you, it is here. So how are we aware? Now Hariom Gandhi is, unka to pura hi knowledge isme hai, what kind of drugs. How many of them are Hariom Gandhis? How many of them are Anil Kakunje, who knows what drugs is? How many are Saif Shahs, who has a vast experience with this drug addicts? So this is the question what we have to ask. And one session what you have to take is mobile and a child of 2 years. I get cases, a child who's 2 years. This is another addiction. So this is another different part.
Okay, Dr. Hasan, thank you. As far as last thing, mobile, yes, I have done a session last week only about the mobile addiction, mobile phone addiction. I think you have missed it. About what you are mentioning about, which I will ask Mr. Hariom Gandhi when his turn will come. But only I will tell you one thing. Sometimes giving a knowledge is also you are making somebody drug addict if it was not knowing what is ganja, and if you will show the demonstration and if you will explain to him, he will say, okay, let me try. And the drug is such a thing, once you try once, you will try again and again, and you will become a drug addict. Thank you very much, Dr. Hasan, for giving your views. Now my question to Mr. Saif Shah. Mr. Shah, you were talking about the drugs and everything. Many countries, and you have mentioned what Dr. Rukhsana Hasan is mentioning, why the government is giving license, and you only said that Gujarat is a dry state from 1947 and the maximum deaths due to the alcohol is in Gujarat. You have already said. So if the government will ban the alcohol, you will see the deaths across the country because people are going to bound to drink. Now my question is, the drugs, many governments are legalizing the cannabis, marijuana, etc., etc. Even recently, the New Jersey state has legalized, although there are opposition, but they are legalizing. Now, my question to you is, don't you think the government of India should legalize all these drugs which are required? So at least people will go have some fun and come back, and really they will not be having addict, because like you have mentioned about the Gujarat model, where the people are dying more. So let it be legalized in India also when it is legalized in other countries. What you say about this?
Good question, but legalizing is not the answer. Legalizing is not an answer, because legalizing will lead to other problems. See, alcohol is there. If alcohol is legalized, it has certain values. It has it has been measured and all that. It doesn't, as per my thing, it doesn't affect it. It might affect the body physically. It doesn't affect mentally as the other drugs affect. Like you talk about marijuana. Marijuana, once you consume, the thing will be there in the system for 3 years, whereas alcohol will detox in 48 hours. That is the thing. Like, no, you can't. I am not in for legalizing marijuana. I'm not in term of legalizing cocaine. I'm not in term of legalizing opium, because it's been used from ages. If it is not that, alcohol is just now. Alcohol is like, that recent entry into the substance thing. Alcohol is the recent thing. But marijuana, opium, or coca, it was coca leaves, now it has become cocaine. So this and all are like, it is from ancient, like, ancient people are using. But why they are not legalizing? Because they know the ill effect of it to the society. That is the reason they're not legalizing it. They can't legalize because it has certain things. If you legalize, then it's gone. So it is like, best, like, as Mr. Hariom Gandhi was telling, that like he was advising and he was giving suggestion. Nobody likes to get advised or get suggested. That is the worst part. Now, what we are doing, we can't do anything. Like, no, it has to go to the root level. If you're looking for a solution to the problem, it has to go to the root level. That is my thing. Like, no, it has to
Okay.
go to root level. What is root level? How a kid is been bought. Like, see, for some disease is inborn. This alcoholism or ism. Ism is a disease. Might be anything. Like, you can connect to anything. It is not that alcoholism or thing. It is ism is a disease. Ism is the word called disease. So it is that ism is like, inborn. Like, how diabetes is inborn. Now I can tell you that, like, diabetes A, B. A, B is like, now seeing the attitude of people, seeing the culture, seeing the society, as you told, like, awareness. Awareness is the must.
Okay, Mr. Shah, according to you, government should not legalize this thing, but other countries are legalizing. I think government of India should also revisit, check up why other countries are legalizing, the advantage and disadvantage. I'm sure the government might be doing the study on that also.
Listen, they are playing it very safe. One thing, they are playing it very safe. They are legalizing it for medicinal values.
No, that is fine. That is everybody. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shah. Paucity of time, so I have to wind up so fast. Yeah, Dr. Anil, my question to you is, you mentioned about the behavioral addiction. Now, as everybody has, Mr. Gandhi has also spoken, once you are at home and it is seen that the children, earlier people were saying, don't touch the mobile phone. And now the term has changed. No, please take the mobile phone. Online class is on. Please wake up, do this thing. Then when we are putting to them, how we expect the child of 4 years or 5 years or 3 years who is attending the class will not become addict?
I agree with you that itself is the problem. So on one hand, children are told that don't overuse, and you have half a day class on mobile, and they take father's or mother's mobile, and in between they are using it for many other reasons, and they start having Instagram accounts, Facebook accounts. And I do get cases about these things, parents bringing the child, saying that child is unable to, say we are unable to manage the child with too much mobile usage. I think this has been a major problem following the lockdown, and is going to be a problem in future also. Gadgets has become a problem for the parents, and watching the parents and elders in the family, always brothers and sisters with the mobile, the children naturally, it's a tendency to explore and see what is happening, and they tend to start having accounts, chatting, and many of their friends have. So I think the children need to be very balanced. One, the other thing is parents have to be a good role models. The school teachers and the environment should be such that the usage should be to a very optimum level, and it should be at a monitored one. Otherwise, managing children and adolescents, and they don't have much maturity about how much to use and what is good and bad, it can seriously lead to problems, and it is already becoming a problem, and many are consulting professionals.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Anil. Now my question goes to Mr. Hariom Gandhi, the last but not the least. You were mentioning that so many things have been banned, which I'm sure the ganja, charas, bhang, all are banned substances. It's freely available in Kumbh. It's freely available in Holi. It's freely available on Shivratri. And everyone knows If anybody says, and I'm sure you are from that region of UP, you know that Mathura, you know that Varanasi, you know that Lucknow, bhang, the thandai with the bhang, it's a custom to be served on Holi. Kumbh, you go, all these sadhus are having the charas, chilam, everything they are having under the eye of all the police department, NCB, the government of India, state government, and everyone. Why, Mr. Gandhi? Double standard. One actor is having just 1 or 2 or 3 grams. You are arresting, you are humiliating publicly in media. But those who are openly flouting the laws, not a one day, every day, and no action taking place, either because of the religion or because of the pressure. Mr. Gandhi, please.
Okay. So the question, of course, is a challenging question, but let me make you it very clear. Bhang is not under NDPS Act. Bhang in this country is allowed from the centuries and century, maybe more than 2,000-3,000 years. It has been used for the purpose of medicine. And if you see the cannabis has a 2 component. One is the THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, which is an agent which causes a euphoria. That means it is for the fun. Another substance is the CBD, tetrahydrocannabinol, which is having medicinal value. There was one survey in 2019 by AIMS and Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. And you know that what was the number people, those who are consuming marijuana? This means the number was almost 2 to 3 crore. That means if you start taking action against all the youngsters, all the college going students, there would not be any place in the jails. There would not be any place. All the football stadium, all the stadiums would be packed. And let me tell you, this was one of the reasons where USA and the other countries initially came under pressure from their local people. They started, let us have the marijuana, which is having the CBD. That means which is used for the medical purpose. When the government allowed the medical purpose marijuana, the CBD, they say, no, we do not want this. We want for the fun. And recently we are seeing Canada, US, Netherlands, and some of other countries are also coming under the pressure. They are allowing marijuana. Of course, they would be getting lots of revenue also. But there is a bigger question to it. The moment we say, should we allow it or not allow it, we all should ask a one question. Would I like my son or daughter is called Charsi or Ganjedi? The moment I say the answer is yes, there is no problem. Because we have seen after allowing cannabis in the US and other countries, medical emergencies have gone up. Though this is a basic drug, of course, bhang is a basic thing. This is not coming under NDPS Act. It is openly allowed. But of course, cannabis, the other part that is ganja or marijuana, that is banned because that is having more THC than the charas. Of course, the same plant that is also banned.
But Mr. Gandhi, Kumbh Mela is there, and today also there is a Shahi Snan. Anyways, time is short. You have made a reply. Thank you very much. So today you have seen, all our experts have mentioned, and it's not the government only. After all, government is trying their best. But who are responsible? The civil society. We are responsible. If we will not take action, we will not watch, we will not provide those things to our children, the youngsters, that what they require, then definitely what government or what the NGOs can do. After all, children are our own. We have to think, if we will, like the saying is, charity begins from home. Similarly, if any drug addiction or any addiction is starting, it is from home. If we will not take action, if we are not vigilant, we should not blame others, whether the friends of our children or to the government. We must take the blame on ourselves, and for that, we must see to it that they are under the constant watch in such a way that they also feel happy not to be involved. And because of the COVID, it is required more, because you are always with them, and try to see to it that they should not involved in any such type of activities. Thank you very much for giving such an enlightening session today. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, Newsgaon se, Samvad Sarocar News, as well as shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you every day a new topic. And tomorrow our topic, media conference with Lal Goyal at 10:30 a.m. is Women and Beauty. And our panelists are Dr. Rajiv Anand, Senior Psychiatrist and Marriage Counselor, Mumbai, Dr. Neeta Rathi, MBBS MS, renowned gynecologist, New Delhi, Dr. Pallavi Rathi, MD, DDV, FCPS, consultant dermatologist, cosmetologist, trichologist, and laser surgeon, Mumbai, Dr. Sama Rai, clinical and aesthetic dermatologist, Derma Hub, Mumbai, Dr. Shama Vibhakar, MD, DDV, consultant, dermo-cosmetologist, trichologist, laser and dermo surgeon, skin and scalp clinic, Mumbai. So please tune in tomorrow to join media conference with Lal Goyal at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much, Mr. Hariom Gandhi. Thank you very much, Dr. Ruxana Hassan. Thank you very much, Dr. Anil. Thank you very much, Mr. Shah, for giving such enlightening views. And thank you all the viewers for watching our shows. Thank you very much.